Hello my friends, welcome to my channel, Power Moon Tarot. This is Natalie and I'm happy to be with you here tonight as we look at a special reading for my piles 1 through 3. We're going to be looking at how to spark your creativity. I know we all feel in need of more creativity and more flow and harmony in our lives. So today we just want to petition our guides, angels, and spirit and our ancestors to be with us today as we explore the question, how can we really spark our creativity, okay? What can we do to spark it up? For those of you who are new subscribers, welcome to my channel. I have a ton of readings, and some readings are shorter, some are longer. But thank you for being here, and appreciate all your comments as well. I read them all, I look at them all, I respond to most of them, or mean to respond to most of them. In fact, I try to respond to all of them. And just want to wish everybody the best, okay? So without further ado, let's begin. We have pile number 1, how to spark your creativity. If you're drawn to the green tea light candle, please choose your pile. If you are drawn to the yellow tea light candle, please choose pile number 2. And if you're drawn to the orange tea light candle, please choose pile number 3. Oftentimes, it's whatever your eye is drawn to first, and whatever you focus in on is where you want to go. And if you have confusion, you can look at the timestamps in the description box and pick a number that you actually like as well. Sometimes I try to be intentional about when I set up the timestamps, and so maybe you find pile 1 begins at 222 or something like that, and maybe you like that, and then you choose pile number 1 for those reasons, right? So there's many options here to look at. And with that being said, let's go ahead and clear away piles 2 and 3. Okay, for my pile number 1s, we have the green tea light candle. If you chose the green tea light candle, here we are at your reading. And our reading today is how to spark your creativity. What can you do to spark your creativity? And I drew a card for everyone here before we started, and it's called Prayer and Contemplation, Charity, Connect with Heaven, Ask and You Shall Receive. So every single pile here needs to commune with heaven more and ask more for what they want and need, okay? Okay, my loves, and with that, we will begin how to spark your creativity. Okay. We have trust up here, which is the Fool, integrity, and sacral chakra. All right, pile number 1, there's nothing more wonderful than the sacral chakra for creativity. It's our feminine center. It's right below our belly button. Our sacral chakra is also where we get those gut feelings. Clairsentience comes from the sacral chakra. For those of you that have a very strong desire nature and have a very strong physical needs as well, because we're coming out of the root chakra up to the sacral chakra. This is also our sexuality and any issues that we have around sexuality. So for some people, they could have an overactive or an underactive sacral chakra, and we'll find out a little bit more here. With integrity, it's absolutely paramount that you act with integrity when it comes to your sacral chakra. Now that means not having any random hookups with people that you're uncertain about, okay? That's really respecting yourself, okay? And having a lot of self-respect. And that is gonna be part of what needs to happen for you here, and that's part of the integrity. And I do feel like Spirit and the angels are watching you now. They're watching what you do and the actions that you take. And because you are awoken to Spirit, pile number 1, you have greater responsibility in this lifetime. And so using this sacral chakra in a way that is spiritual and healthy and good and all of that is very important for you now in this lifetime, now that you've awakened. And we can see here with the Fool card, it's called Trust in this deck, where she's just shining her heart forth and she's just going forward regardless of, she doesn't even know what's on the other side here. She's just leaning into it. And there is something about your creativity that is very unique and very special, pile number 1. And a lot of people might not understand your creativity or where it comes from, or they might find it kind of odd. But that is part of being in your integrity and expressing your creativity. You can't be anyone else other than who you are. For my pile number 1s, you can't. You have to be who you are and be in integrity. Okay, and I also see communication as being very important here. So we have key to your creativity is to speak up and be heard. So this could involve some writing. This could involve talking through your ideas with a friend. This could be around just sitting around the table, chatting with your friend, and then boom, all of a sudden you wake up to a realization and you're like, whoa, okay. Speak up and be heard. So you need to work on that throat chakra, and I see that here too with the Fool. You're going to have to speak up and talk about your ideas and talk about what you're doing, even if it makes you a little bit uncomfortable, okay? And that's part of how you are going to emerge with these new creative ideas. And I see that this is a very regenerative process for you. So you rejuvenate yourself as you, bring forth this new pearl here. And we have number 11, which is a very spiritual number. And it has to do with being an inspirational teacher is number 11. And we see creation, resurrection, magician. You guys can create something out of nothing. And you're oftentimes you wonder, where does this even come from? How did this even come from? Where did it even come from? I do think Spirit is communicating with you and you might not even realize it. You might just think, oh, it's me. But it's not. It's actually Spirit is planting ideas and putting them there, and you're picking up on them because you have a very attuned ear. So you're starting to pick up on these. And you've probably been picking up on these for a long time. You just didn't realize what you were doing. There are some challenges here. We have number 6, blocks, fears, negativity, betrayal. So something that really brings your energy down and makes you feel like you're trapped in a box and that you can't really... Also with the sacral chakra, you guys, sometimes there's a hard time figuring out what we want, what we actually desire. And I understand that very much. And the thing about it is the universe is going to mirror whatever it is that you want and desire. That's because you are a creator, and it's because you are making your own reality as you go. And so whatever you come up with, the universe is going to mirror back to you. So if you think that you're trapped and you're in chaos and you can't get things done, the universe is going to mirror that back to you. If you think that, other people are presenting you from doing what you need, or preventing you from doing what you need to do, then the universe is going to mirror that back to you. So, I'm not one of those crazy law of attraction people, but I do think that very powerful people, we have a lot of say in what happens. And therefore, if we start going down a path, a lot of times what we start doing will be mirrored back, okay? So it's very important that we put our intentions in where we want to put them. And part of that is being in integrity, because whatever you wish for and desire for and then open yourself up to is going to emerge for you. It's going to emerge. And I don't even see anything in here that so far is telling me this is going to be epically hard work and you're not going to be able to do it. I just feel that you think that there are people either holding you back or situations that are holding you back. But the cosmos are coming through to say, hey, that's not really the case. Change your perception here. Change your perception, because we want to push you forward, because you are a warrior of light. Look at this. Silver, we have warrior of light, and we have a sword coming up out. And I just, you're rising up. That's what is happening with you, pile number one. You could be going through a spiritual awakening now. You are rising up. Your spirit is rising up. Your 3D self is rising up. You are rising up to the occasion. You are a warrior of light, and therefore Spirit is granting you and bestowing upon you certain treasures and gifts that others do not have, okay? That not the average everyday human has. And that's because you are a warrior of light. We have Paul the Venetian here. Okay, experiencing grace, share your gifts with grace. Waves of inspiration and love are coming to you. The more that you open yourself up to love, and the more that you open your heart up and yourself up to love, and you share what you're doing with others with grace, the more creativity you're going to be blessed with. The universe is going to keep piling it on and piling it on until you have said, hey, I need a break. The universe is going to keep piling it on for you, and the waves of grace will keep coming. Waves of inspiration and grace will keep coming as long as you continue to share what you have, as long as you don't put blocks there, you don't think of others as challenging you or blocking you, because they're not. You have an open field here. With the Fool in this position at the top here, you have an open field that is wide open for you. It's open for whatever you want. You just have to dial in what you want and then stay with that in your integrity. And then everything is going to emerge for you. And I know it can be really hard figuring out what you want. So let's look at that. What does my pile number one, what do they want? Okay. Nine of Pentacles. So you want to be financially secure and you want to be rewarded for your work. It's not that money is everything for you, but there needs to be a fair energy exchange, okay? There needs to be a harvest here, and this is looking like it's a basket of pentacles with feathers around it. You need to be fairly compensated for what you're doing, pile number one, and you will feel better and more settled about what you're doing and be more directed once you find out what makes money in this situation. So what actually is going to resonate with your audience and what makes money for you. And that's not because, like I said, that money is everything to you, but independence is very important to you. And having an equal energy exchange is also very important to you. Okay, so we have Four of Cups here. So what you desire is to be able to spend some time in meditation and thinking about where you want to go next with this. And there's some ambivalence here. There can be like a lack, almost like a lack of wanting to make the first move. You're almost like, if I'm so important, universe, why don't you make the first move and tell me what it is I'm supposed to be doing that's so great here? And I could see you, kind of not really letting everyone see who you are and showing yourself. You definitely don't want to guard your treasures from others because you have much to share. So you need to just start revealing what you can do and what you know, so that you can attract others that would like to learn and grow from you, okay? And we have the Ace of Pentacles. So again, with the money theme here, and like I said, it's not just about money. It is about knowing having a smart business plan and putting it into practical effect here, and coming up off of, you know, the tightrope that you've been walking on. So you do need to come off whatever, if you've been trying to please others, or you're trying to kind of navigate through things, you need to come off that tightrope, and you need to really focus in on what makes you feel the most secure, what's going to bring in, what's a fair exchange for what you give, right? Because here's how it goes. The universe brings you ideas and gives you an offer. And then you take the idea and create something with it in tandem with spirit and put it out there for others. Others see what you're doing and are attracted to it and want to listen, share, buy into it, etc. But it has to be an equal energy exchange. And that's where spirit really wants you to focus your attention on. And actually, this is where you want to get into your manifestations. So what is going to be stable? What is something that you can do and feel comfortable doing, right? That you feel very comfortable with, and something you feel like doing. You have to feel like doing it. If you don't feel like doing it, I know not every day is going to be a cakewalk, but if you don't feel like doing it, you got to look at something else. So something you feel like doing that's going to bring you independence and opportunities, okay? But coming down to the sacral chakra, again, it has to be something that you feel like doing. If you wake up feeling, there's a difference between feeling nervous and excited versus feeling absolute dread and not wanting to do something, all right? It's important to know the difference. It's important to know how you feel and stay in integrity with how you feel. That's very important here. Here we have the 5 of Cups and the 4 of Cups. So there could be this energy of, you know, kind of putting your head in the sand and, you know, walking a tightrope. It's like, you know, you kind of need to know how you feel about things before you proceed, pile number 1. So you need to spend some time thinking about how you just, and I knew the Chariot was going to come up. Here's the Chariot on the bottom of the deck. So you're wanting to move forward. I think you just need to get clear about, you know, what things feel like a total drag and that you just don't want much attention about. Like, you feel like it's a total drag and you don't want to deal with it, versus the things that could be hard work and require effort, but at the end of the day, you enjoy doing them. So it's very important that you come into line with this, because I feel, pile number 1, that you're supposed to be doing something with your creative abilities, but you're supposed to be getting a fair energy exchange for that and getting some money in return, or some trading or something like that in return for what you do, okay? So that's going to be really, really key for you in order to really get some momentum with the Chariot. And look at this horse has a pentacle around his neck. So this, and the moon on his forehead. So this horse has already realized what he or she wants to focus on as far as goals and practical business plan. And this moon represents your feelings being aligned with that. And then the horse here is about driving forward on that agenda. You will be able to drive forward quickly on whatever you decide. It's just about getting into what you actually want and will decide to do, okay? So thank you so much, pile number 1. I hope that you enjoyed your messages. And that was how to spark up your creativity. Okay, with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to pile number 2. Okay, if you chose pile number 2, you chose this yellow tea light. Okay, so how do you spark up your creativity, my pile number 2s? How do you spark it up? Okay. Oh. Okay. Throat portal. Galactic guidance. Daydreams and decisions. spread your wings and be fearless, okay? So your guides really want you to be fearless right now and know that you're protected, and know that, nobody's going to find out until you're ready, okay? What you're doing is being protected. And if you're worried about people discovering you when you're not ready, or you're worried about, people finding out what you're doing creatively and judging you for it, and, that it would impact your career or something like that adversely, you're being guided right now to be fearless about what you want and understanding that you are protected, okay? So we have the divine director here. It says intervention and purpose. Divine intervention is occurring. Know that you are being guided. Happiness is your purpose, okay? So there's a strict purpose that you have, and it's finally becoming known to you. We have the new dawn, welcome back, and we have the beacon, shine on, okay? So you have come back from a journey, pile number 2, and it could be that you could have been on a literal journey and been somewhere and come back from that, or you're thinking about what journey you want to take next, okay? So there's a new dawn, there's a new day, and there's something that is unfolding for you here, and it's imperative that you be fearless about your creative pursuits, and you don't let any self-doubt or any feelings of I can't do this, or no one will like it, or this isn't even relevant, or who even cares, or who am I even doing this for, that you let go of some of those, you let go of all of those negative judgments and doubts about what you're doing, and really let yourself be guided, because your angels and guides are in a very serious and intense mood. All right, if you've been on a bit of a vacation from your purpose and your creativity and what you're supposed to be doing in this lifetime, it's like your galactic team and this divine director here are showing up to say, vacation's over, sweetie. It's time to get cracking. It's time to get to work. You've had your fun, okay? And now you need to get back in line. And it's not to be like, mean to you or anything, but you do need to be on a schedule, and you do need to get real serious about what it is that you want to do here. With daydreams and decisions, there can be a tendency to wander and to become kind of disconnected from outcomes, or from what you want, or from how things are going to turn out, and just kind of like, throwing the dice over and over and over, just kind of throwing the dice, or just throwing more money at something, or, just kind of doing things like that instead of really zeroing in and focusing. And your galactic star family, plus the divine director here, is not messing around with you. They're like, we will bring you to a new dawn, and you will shine on, and you will start talking. You need to start talking, pile number 2. This is going to help you as you develop your courage and bring your courage forward in this situation. It's very helpful for you to speak your truth. We also have purity here. We have purity and innocence, white. So there is something, you probably went on this journey, pile number 2, in order to regain your purity and innocence again. Now, you could have had situations in the past that, especially around relationships, that really hurt you, that really upset you, and situations where fear was an underlying, an underlying factor in what you were going through. And you've been brought out of these situations on purpose, pile number 2, by your team, at the direction of the universe, and with the intensity of someone who needs to move on to the next thing, okay? So you have been brought through this beautiful new dawn. You've gone from darkness into light Where there was no hope, now there is hope. Where there was nothing growing and the leaves were dead and it was winter and there was nothing, it's beautiful now. The valleys are verdant, it's springtime. The sun shines and emanates its rays to everything. This is an example of what it's been for you. We have a 10 here, which is all about the closing of a cycle. So there has been a closing of the cycle here for you, pile number 2, and this cycle had to close so that you could begin again. You may be starting to learn something new that you hadn't studied before, which is going to be the source of much creativity for you in the future, and is going to become the diamond in the rough for you, something you hadn't considered before. And by taking this time out and taking this break, you're going to figure out what that is, and you're going to be led back to the purest ideas, to the ideas that really sparkle and shine and really really put the spotlight on you, is what I feel, pile number 2. So this spreads your wings here. This is the 2 of fire. So we can see her holding her arms out to the open road. I feel this goes along very well with this Be Fearless card, right? Because there's nothing like, setting off on a journey on your own and kind of doing your own thing and just watching the horizon to see what happens next. There's nothing that accompanies you better on that journey than being fearless. And when I say being fearless, I don't mean being stupid about things. There are certain things that we should be afraid of, and our nervous system is there to warn us when we do need to legitimately be afraid. But I'm seeing that you have already passed through situations which have been dark for you and kind of like were threatening to take over your light. And I can see you opening yourself up to everything, right? Anything that comes your way. You're like, I just want to be changed. I just want to be transformed. I just want to see things in a new way. And I'm literally open. I'm standing open to anything that comes my way here. Okay, so I'm going to ask Spirit the question here. What can my pile 2s number 2s do here in order to take some practical steps? That's too many cards. There's a lot of things you could do. Practical steps in order to spark their creativity, okay? Well, first of all, you need to be very clever, be a little bit suspicious and clever about those around you that may not have the best intentions. So there might still be a couple people around you that you need to be kind of suspicious and guarded around. And that could be a fire sign, an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius that you kind of need to still watch out for. I'm getting here, my pile number 2s, that you're still suspicious of. But you're healing. You are healing. And, love is the doorway from you. Going from being suspicious and thinking that everyone's out to get you and everyone's going to hurt you is not really working for you anymore. You're healing from that. You're opening up to love, to the fact that we're all one, that, there's healing just around the corner, and that there's beauty to behold. There's poetry, there's romance. Crack open some poetry, pile number 2. Just open up a random book of poems and read whatever page you find. Go online searching for some favorite poetry that you read when you were younger. If you've never explored poetry, then actually spend some time exploring it a little bit and let the words inspire you. Okay, let it open you up by seeing other works of art that have both the pain and the mystery, but then also the triumph into beauty and opening and flowering and blossoming into new life. Those are the kind of stories, the kind of music, the kind of stories, etc., that you need to be looking at right now, because that is good fuel for your own creativity. Ah, yes, Charlotte's Web. We have the 8 of Pentacles. You are going to be a busy little bee, a busy little spider, my friends. You are going to be creating a very intricate whatever you're working on, this is going to be a very intricate kind of a project. Some of you could be some type of a designer, some type of an artist, maybe a fashion designer, artist, writers, musicians. You could be into technology. There's many different ways this energy can express itself, okay? Some of you may be public speakers. But you guys are going to be busy little bees doing what you do best. You're going to write those stories about people rising from the ashes. You're going to tell those stories or write those stories in your art about, you know, being down to being not vulnerable and being shut down, to being open to the possibility of love and open to the possibilities of life. It's very key that you get on a regular schedule and that you know, try to wake up at the same time every day. Spirit just showed me an alarm clock going off. You might not like waking up to an alarm clock, but you really need to consider setting some parameters and you know, taking those seriously so you can get on a good schedule. Yeah, so you can be your best. Here's the High Priestess. You need to be very careful about what you consume, the kind of media, social media that you consume, the kind of food that you consume. You're sensitive. I did pick up on this as I was pulling these cards here. You're sensitive, so you do need to be, you could be some kind of a psychic reader as well, doing things, and you need to be careful about what you eat and what you drink. With the High Priestess, you need enough water. The High Priestess is ruled by the moon, so you need to take better care of yourself at night. Be softer with yourself, be gentler. Don't work way, way late into the night. Try to keep a schedule and keep yourself, I know you might be very productive, but don't go overboard with it, okay? Pile number 2s, don't go overboard with that, and try to drink enough water and eat the right food to keep you going and working hard on your projects during this time, okay? So thank you so much, pile number 2. I hope those messages resonated for you and that you were able to get something out of that there. I love, 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 love the 8 of Pentacles. Some people think that card is boring. I don't. I think it's beautiful. Wonderful work. Wonderful job done. Okay, now we move on to pile number 3. So pile number 3, if you chose the orange tea candle or tea light, this is your reading. So our question tonight is, how do you spark your creativity? How can you release any blocks? And what can you do from a practical perspective to spark your creativity? Self-love, tree of life, travel on. Sacral chakra, or sorry, root chakra, we have safety, strength, and power. And I'm just going to get the rest of the, oh, sacral. Here's the sacral chakra. I said that earlier. We have the root. Okay, we have the 9 of swords, so that could be a block for you guys. We have the 8 of swords also. And then we have compassion. Look at this beauty. Look at how beautiful you guys are, pile number 3. You guys might have some amazing eyes. People might just look at you and become entranced with you. You could have an otherworldly view about you, and people could just sense that when they meet you, that you are a very interesting and intense and enticing person, okay? You're very compassionate, and although your eyes can sometimes, you can hold some, you know, almost challenging energy in your eyes, almost staring like intently at someone. You have such a watery feel to your eyes because you're very compassionate. And I see the throat chakra is lit up here, and it's going up. It's like you're a mouthpiece to the heavens, and the heavens communicate through you and to you. And that's why the things that you say are so impactful on people. All right, your third eye is also completely lit here. So your word of the day here, pile number 3, is compassion. Compassion for yourself. I get the feeling that you guys are very compassionate with others. Where I'm sensing you need more here is more passion and compassion with your own self, okay? So we have self-love and nurture here, pink. Definitely wear some shades of pink. If you're a guy, you can wear pink too. You can even wear pink nail polish and pink lipstick if you're a guy, if you wanted to. There's nothing against it. But having some pink around you, some soft magentas, some soft reds, some pinks, that's going to be very nice for you to look at. And it's really going, if you've been having trouble with your eyes or trouble with your vision and things just seem very harsh to look at, there needs, you know, the energy here needs to be softened. And again, we see the third eye being lit up here. So if you're getting headaches or you feel tired or you feel physically hot and cold at different times, these are all ascension symptoms and third eye activation symptoms. So you could definitely be feeling that now. Your heart wants to soar and you want to bring so much healing energy to others. You are like a walking healer. You could be healers here, my pile number 3, and this could have to do with your creativity. And a lot of people don't think, well, I'm not creative and I'm not a healer. But you don't know what impact your words have on people, what your presence has on people, and how you can listen to people. That is healing. If you do that, you are a healer, and that is part of your creativity. So under Holy Amethyst, we have move beyond current challenges, focus on what you desire. And then we have the sacral chakra portal here, creativity, intimacy, inhibition, right? So we want to let go of our inhibitions if we see that as a block, and we want to know that we are safe and we are held and we are cared for and we've got nothing to worry about it. Our ancestors are guiding us and they are our guardians, and we don't have anything to fear, and we can be intimate and vulnerable, particularly with ourselves. That's who we want to be intimate and vulnerable with first. If you're spending a lot of time having some very challenging thoughts, like, you know, situations are not going to change. You know, I'm never going to get to take the path that I want to. I'm always going to have to compromise what I want and need. There's always going to be a sword hanging over my head. I'm not going to be able to move past, you know, my current challenges. If you have that mindset or you've been feeling that way, your team is asking you to consider the fact that there are many different paths in life that we can take to get to our highest potential. And that if we stay stuck in thought loops that aren't productive, that can be a negating factor here, something that we're still going to reach where we need to go. You don't have to worry, pile number 3, you'll still reach where you need to go. It's just the journey ends up being harder than it needs to be. So your guides and angels want you guys to have more emotional freedom. They want you to flow with your emotions, okay? They want you to play and to flow, and they want you to feel vulnerable, and they want you to be able to learn to rebalance yourself at will, right away, immediately, if you feel out of balance. That way you can really, really flow in your energy. I am getting that some of you might be getting headaches, or your shoulders might be very tight. You might just be having some tension in your head. So you do need to loosen that up. I know a lot of us can't go get massages right now, but hopefully soon we could go get a massage, go have some Reiki done, just get an energetic tune-up. I think that that would be really good for you, pile number 3, after, you know, as a collective, we've gone through this whole experience of coronavirus and many other things now that we're going through. So I do think you could use a tune-up with particular focus to your sacral chakra. And the message here is to travel on, traveler. Keep pushing forward, keep pushing into your mastery, and know that you are safe and protected. Know that, you know, you can have, just keep your eye on the prize, because your guides are watching out for you. If you see feathers when you're walking around, or you see a feather, that could be a sign that your ancestors or your guides are with you, and that you're safe and protected, so that you can be vulnerable. It's very hard to be vulnerable and intimate if you don't feel like you're safe, okay? And for some of my pile number 3s, being able to be vulnerable and intimate and step into your creativity has to do with, first, developing a sense of safety and a sense that you will be the first line of protector for yourself, that you will be protecting your inner child. You will be holding the line, okay? And you will not let any energy that wants to come through, not just any old energy can come through here, because you're a realized being here and your crown chakra is getting activated. So you cannot stand in the same place that you've always stood. You do need to move out of kind of the repeating mental thoughts so that you can experience emotional freedom. Now that is going to be the key. The emotional freedom is going to be the key to activating your creativity in an even greater way. It says, Holy Amethyst, Divine Alchemy, move beyond current challenges, focus on what you desire. Okay, so we're focusing on what we desire. We're moving beyond current challenges, which is discovering a sense of emotional freedom. Freedom from constraints, freedom from the thoughts that seem to plague. You know, the thoughts that say, I'm too tired, I'm too young, I'm too old, I don't have enough education. You know, whatever things that we're telling ourselves, we first need to stop and say, look, I'm safe, I'm okay. It's okay for me to be vulnerable, even to myself in this moment, and admit where I'm at and how I feel. Okay, so spirits, angels, and guides, what can my pile number 3s do from a practical perspective here to bring through more creativity for them? The Hierophant, so you might need to go get instruction from someone at this time. There could be a teacher that's waiting for you that will give you a key to moving to the next level with your creative abilities. So you do need to seek out teachers and mentors, pile number 3, and it might take you a while to find the right person because you're very unique and the needs that you have are very unique. But I'm going to very much encourage you pile number 3s to find a teacher to help refresh some things for you. 5 of Swords, yeah, again with these thoughts that seem to creep in that are very disturbing and upsetting, you know, the teacher that you get is a person that's going to help you with this emotional freedom, okay? You might have multiple teachers here. You might have 2, actually, is what I'm seeing. One that's going to help you with your emotional freedom, and the other one that's going to help you with your, what I would call, more technical, hands-on creative skills for what you actually do. Okay, so you might have 2 teachers here, but the point is to get out of this these negative mind traps. We don't want to be in a thought prison. That is no fun. Wheel of Fortune, yeah, you guys do need to travel. There's a travel on message here, and you know, travel is very inspiring to you guys, and trying to stay put for too long just makes you restless. And you know, maybe some of this quarantine has affected you guys in the sense that you did feel trapped, you did feel at times hopeless, the energy was just draining on you, it just was being like way too much. And so you're needing to kind of break free from that right now. Yeah, the 2 of Pentacles, so you're going to be working on multiple creative projects. We have Father of Wands, which is the King of Wands. The King of Creativity himself and herself is showing up in this reading. So you have a lot of fire, you have a lot of energy, and you are good at what you do, pile number 3. There's just been some things that have crept up. It's not like you don't know how to do what you want to do here. You do know, and you have been very successful in the past of, you know, keeping multiple fires burning here. But it wore you out, I think, and I think it wore you down just a little bit, even though you are quite capable. I do think it wore you down, and I do think having a singular focus is going to be helpful here, and having some teachers and some mentors that can help you with, again, finding the emotional freedom, but also with some technical aspect of what you're doing. But you're very good at what you're doing, and I can see that you want to be a master at what you are doing, and you're not going to take any shortcuts. You will put in the work, okay? And that's why you're going places, pile number 3. That's why your creativity is going to be off the chain, because you do put in the work. And you do mix things up when things get stale, and you don't just keep doing the same thing over and over again. Yeah, Son of Wands. So we have, again, we have the Knight of Wands here, more creativity. And we have the Two of Cups. So there could be a relationship on the horizon for you guys too that's impacting some of this, hopefully in a positive way. But we have the Son of Wands here, so we could have fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but doesn't have to be. This is just, you know, waking up to new ideas and getting really excited about it. Just getting very, very super excited about new ideas that are going to come your way. So thank you so much, pile number 3. I hope you enjoyed your messages. Everyone take care and God bless.